But I will give everyone a second to come in before we do our formal intro and all that. All right, we are live. Welcome to the first playoff matchup of 3 and Out. I'm your host, Ryan Kieran. With me tonight is your 2 seed, Pat Lane at @PLane_Pat. So switch him over. He's got the home side yet. And then your 3 seed, Brian Phillips at @BPhillips_SB. How are we doing tonight, fellas?
Doing good. It's appropriate that the 2 seed is named Pat for our 2 seed Pats.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Arguably, I'm the hottest guy going right now. I've got quote unquote momentum now.
You did just come off of a record-tying performance in the regular season finale against Spags to earn your spot in this game. However, Brian, no nerd, does not believe in momentum, so that unfortunately means nothing.
I'm the guy. I kind of feel like the guy. Like I'm the team you don't want to face in the playoffs. Like that. Like, oh, I don't know about that. And I'm sure we'll talk about which teams those might be.
I'm like the Falcons coming off like absolute like complete brain fart blowing it.
Let's set the table. Obviously, the trivia is going to end the show, but let's set the table real quick for the playoffs here. So it's a 4-team bracket, single elimination. So this is semifinal matchup number 1. Next week will be semifinal matchup number 2, and the show season will end in the regular season finale with our championship matchup, which means we don't know who will be in it. Obviously, I like to plan out guests, but it's going to be the winner of this against the winner of next week. Will be our guest for the final show as well. Pat, this whole season, there was a pretty clear top 2 seeds and bottom 2 seeds. It was kind of Keegan and Pat fighting for the top 2, and Brian and Spags fighting to stay out of the basement. Spags finished this as the season winless after kind of letting one get away from him last week against Brian. But Spags had a couple close ones. I don't think that there's any clear-cut people who have no chance in this tournament. It's a single elimination tournament. Anything can happen. Only 6 rounds, short game. Anything can happen. You get a couple good categories, you're winning it. You sweep 2 categories, and the game's pretty much over. But without further ado, we'll get into the actual show. So first down, we have our recap, and it was not a fun one. This had to be the least fun game of the season, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe the Saints, but it was just so frustrating. This game was so frustrating because it wasn't like the Saints game where they were just like killing themselves and the Saints were, pick 6 and all that other crap. It was just like they just couldn't do anything. They did nothing. And Mac, this is the first game where like Mac really looked like a rookie. And I think the first interception on the goal line, and I'll be honest with you, it's been a crazy week, and so I haven't really looked at anything online. I assume someone's broken this down, but like I think that the Darius Leonard interception was like the perfect example of him being a rookie because, like it's one of those things where he takes the snap and he looks left and that drives everyone to the left. But then he comes back to the middle and Hunter Henry's open, but he waits for Hunter Henry to like get to the spot that he wants him to get to. And because he hesitated that extra half a second, it allows Leonard to get back to the middle. And Leonard, being like a stud linebacker, he looks at it and says, I know what's coming. So he leaves a half a second early. So between Mac being a half a second late and Leonard being a half second early, they converge to get an interception there where he made exactly the right play, did exactly what he was supposed to do. Look to the left, look to Nikhil, pushes everyone that way. It opens up the middle of the field. Hunter Henry's open on his route. And because he holds the ball and because Leonard does what Leonard does, it's an interception instead of a completion down to the 2-yard line or whatever the case may be. So
I'm completely with you, except that I don't think Mac did everything right. We talked about it on the post game. What are those called, Brian? That we did
Twitter Spaces.
We did Twitter Space, which we'll probably be trying to integrate moving forward for any of you guys who missed this one. Where Mac, or I think we might have even talked about it at the halftime one, but Mac doesn't have that high end arm talent, right? He's the anticipation brain guy and accuracy. So you have 2 windows in that throw, and it's either early or it's late, and he kind of picked in the middle. You either hit that as soon as Henry gets into it, or you look it off and you wait for him to kind of get over the top of everyone, and he waited and ended up throwing in the middle where Leonard has the range to get back into that play.
Right.
So
no, but that's what I mean. Like that. What I'm saying is that, and I don't.
It was the
I
right read. It was just the wrong. He didn't execute it correctly.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. And
right.
I feel like as a second, third year player, he's not going to make that mistake where he's going to look off to the left, and then that middle's open, and boom, he's going to get rid of it right away.
I kind of felt like it was like he felt. It looked to me as I watched the play. It looked to me like he felt as if he had it timed out well because he had no clue Darius Leonard was dropping underneath. He had no idea, and it felt as if he was boom, beat, and Leonard was there, and it was an anticipation throw more so than anybody else, because he knew where he was going the whole time, and so yes, it was a half beat late for him for how he has to go through that play and that progression and release that football, but you could tell he knew he had it in the bag and it was on time for him. So Pat, you're right. I'm just speaking to how I'm going with your take here. For his timing, he was on time. That in his head, I'm on time. Everything's good here. He had just no clue, absolutely zero clue. And it's one of those learning experiences. A vet's going to do that to you, but they just nothing went right. You're right. The entire first, 50 minutes, 50 minutes of that game.
It felt like the early season or last season. Every time they got something going, there was a brutal penalty. The defense was playing well, especially in the second half, but they weren't like dominating when it was a game where the defense needed to dominate to win with how the offense looked, which doesn't make it the defense fault, obviously, because they were the better of the two units. But they weren't carrying the way that they are capable of if they need to. The offense wasn't clicking. The coaching staff, the early game plan. Let's talk about this a little bit. I hated the early offensive game plan, especially in the running game. You have the Colts that have athletic linebackers. They have very strong tackling safeties. Kenny Moore is probably the best slot corner in the league. And they are not a team that you go sideline to sideline with, and you are a power team at heart. And the first few drives was all outside runs, trying to move horizontally and win to the edge. And that's just not something you're going to do against the Colts.
We say that, but then there's also DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart in the middle with Darius Leonard.
So
they're stacked.
Maybe start leaning on the pass right away instead of seeing what you can do on the run.
Right.
Because that wasn't something that was going to work.
But they're a running team. Patriots are a running team though. That's like telling the Colts not to run because the Patriots have a good running defense.
If you have a good run defense that you're facing in the Colts, and you have a strength and they have a strength, and your strengths don't necessarily line up, right? You are a power football team. Your best runs are going to come up the middle more often than not. Off guard, up the middle. They have a strong interior. I would say they have a better run defending edge group. So why are you working to the edges instead of trying to work up the middle early?
Yeah. No, listen, I get it. I mean, I also think too, like if I were McDaniels, my first play of the game probably would have been a play action pass, just because everyone thinks you're going to run. The Colts know you're going to run. You want to run the ball. They said, "Oh, we're going to try to make you one dimensional," and so so it's kind of like you said, strength versus strength, and it's like, all right, Patriots going to try to come out and reset the line of scrimmage, and and they never could do that, and so and they got dominated. The Patriots got dominated on both sides of the ball on the line, right? And the Colts didn't just win the trenches; they completely dominated the trenches. And so, that's a situation where, and the defense, I think, in the second half played pretty well until the 67-yard touchdown run. But they played pretty well in the second half.
A freak play by Jonathan Taylor. Dante Hightower over pursued that by a half a step.
Right. And Barmore got held-ish. I mean, the fact that they were 0-0, they ran the ball 30 times and they were 0 holding calls is an absolute joke. It's a complete embarrassment that didn't happen because they was holding on every play. There's holding on every play, but they missed a billion of them, and it's they didn't call it once. Not one time did they throw a holding call, and it's just kind of what are we doing here? You know what I mean? There were 2 penalties. Yeah. One of them was the what's it called? The roughing the passer. and the other one was offsides, where the guy came in and tackled Mac in the backfield. Like, it's just kind of like
it was. I mean, Keegan and I were saying it beforehand. It was a bad vibes game. It's just it happens. You get kicked in the teeth, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. Brian, if they match up again in the playoffs, you feel good about the Patriots, or is this team you're firmly scared of now?
Not as good as you are. Not as I would be as excited as you. I do think they can beat pretty much any team in the AFC right now, if they get the game script going the way they want to. But it's like they're the same team. It's just both of those teams are the same, and that's why the holding calls. Like, if you told me that they weren't gonna throw a holding flag the entire game on either team, I'd be like, that's advantage Patriots all the way,
right.
With the way that they want to play. But I mean, that's exactly what the Colts want to do. The Colts aren't trying to put the ball in Carson Wentz's hands, as we can see. Carson Wentz will actively try to give you the football as much as possible, and it's up to you to take advantage of that. That's why, I wouldn't be thrilled about facing the Colts, just because it's going to be a low possession, high variance kind of game. Anything can happen. And what we saw on Saturday night was, that's what happens when you get a couple, you punch a couple times and the other team gets going on offense with their running game. And that's, you can quickly find yourself down.
The Jonnu play down to the 1 yard line that got wiped out. Was that before the Darius Leonard interception? Was that right before the Leonard interception, or do I have the wrong drive?
That's a different drive.
I'm going to be honest. This game feels like it was like a year ago to me.
I couldn't remember, but that's like
this game was a year and a half ago.
Yeah. Oliver mentioned it about how it just seems like every time Jonnu Smith touches the ball, someone else does something to wipe out a good play. All of his plays. I think Spag said it to me it seems like he's had more yards negated because of penalties than actually yards gained. And it's like every time he touches the ball and has some explosive play, it's like holding away from the play that has nothing to do with it. He broke 3 tackles and made a great play. And it's like, oh yeah, but this guy on the backside was holding his guy that had nothing to do with the play. It's like, what the hell, dude? So we saw the Brandon Bolden toss play on 3rd down get stuffed. Oh, Christ.
And I get it. I get, you have numbers, but they first of all, on that play, they didn't have the numbers and they still went with it. And Max got a check out of that. Max got a check out of the 4th down call that they had was bad.
I'm curious to know how much freedom he has at the line, because we've seen him check out, but then we get into these big moments, and it's something you can clearly see. As soon as the play happens, that he needed to check out of it, and he hasn't. So I don't know if that's a rookie thing, or if when they get into those big moments, they say, "Hey, this is the play, you're sticking to it."
Right.
And it's something we don't have any way of knowing. I'm just curious.
Which would be a curious decision, because why give him freedom at all if you're not going to give him freedom in that moment? You know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. So, but yeah, those toss plays drive me insane.
I'll be the optimist for a minute here. You look at the game. You put the ball on the ground 3 times. Only one was recovered by the Colts, but you put the ball on the ground 3 times. Mac had the terrible decision on the first interception. Okereke made a great play on the second one. It was going to be a 3-and-out anyway.
Bad throw.
Good interception. It was going to be a punt regardless. You have the punt block. You have a season high in called penalties, and you were down 3 points until Jonathan Taylor makes a freak play to seal the game when he didn't need the score to seal the game. He just needed the first down.
Right.
So everything went against you, and you were 3 points away the last time the game mattered. So
yeah, I mean that's the way I look at it too. I feel the same way. The
Colts are capable of beating you twice. I don't feel like they would.
Right. Also, Oliver mentioned, Keegan might be right about that. Oliver mentioned about having the punch blocked. I mean, now they have 3 punts blocked. No team in the league has more than 1. Right. So, you think about the Houston Texans, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the New York Jets, the New York Giants. You look at all these horrendously coached teams where we just laugh and scoff at their head coaches about these guys are terrible. The Chicago Bears, for Christ's sake. You look at these teams and you're like, these guys suck. And none of them have more than 1 punt block this year, and the Patriots have 3. And that is just That is an absolute killer. That's a absolute killer. And again, it comes off of Jacoby Myers. Would have been a nice catch, but you got to come down with it, buddy. You got to make that catch. It's on third down. We're trusting you to get out there, make the catch. He drops it. What happens? Punt gets blocked, and it's 7 points the other way for the Colts. And so it's one of those things where, you got to make the plays first off, and then on special teams, now this is an issue we haven't had in a while, but now it's back. Like now we're missing guys again. We can't block people again. Like that's just, it can't happen. Absolutely 100% cannot happen.
Real quick, I want to talk about that interception play to Okereke because Evan Lazar posted the still pics of it, 3rd down and 1, and it really does make you wonder, like how much say Mac Jones has at the line of scrimmage. Let me see. Hold on, I want to share my screen. Mm-hmm. Here we go.
Oh my Lord,
like Evan said. What in the world? Like if you're running the toss on 3rd and 2 in the first half, I mean, let's go.
Right.
Let's go. I mean, this is the easiest. This is here. Take 4 yards and move on to your next series of downs. Just take the first down and go. But instead, it's the interception to Okereke they're throwing here.
Right. And that was 3rd and 1.
Any quarterback, this is 3rd and 1. This is, I mean,
Jesus.
Any quarterback, high school level, should be able to check into this run here.
You have to be a quarterback. I'm not a quarterback. I can tell you there should be a run right there, especially when you're a running team.
Yep. Especially when you love that 3rd and 2 toss.
Yep.
To Bolden. So it's just like these are the things that make you wonder, like what. Like how much latitude does Mac have, and is this Mac's called? And then come on, Mac, let's this is something that you should. This is elementary here. These are mistakes you just can't make.
And this is also something that you expect. Again, these are the type of things that can put a ceiling on your season when you're dealing with a rookie quarterback. As good as Mac has looked at times,
right.
That's still something. Like you're saying, Pat, on the interception. Well, I guess that was before show, but talking about the interception, and you're saying that's something he probably doesn't make a year or two from now. That's the same type of thing. It's stuff that makes a difference that you don't necessarily see, especially in the broadcast.
When you wonder what it would look like in the future, right? I remember the Steelers, who had the most success of a rookie quarterback ever with Ben Roethlisberger, where he wins his first 15 starts or 14 starts, whatever the case may be, and gets the AFC Championship game. They literally cut the field in half, and they were like, "All right, you can only throw to the right. Don't even look to the left, just throw to the right." And that's what they did for him when he was a rookie, right? As they just said, "Nope, like." We're going to give you the right-hand side. Okay, on this play, we're going to give you the left. Don't even look the other way. Don't even do it. See those reads. If they're not there, get rid of it. Or try to make a play or whatever, right? And so, that was what they did, right? And so you wonder if they're doing this to Mac, where they're saying, hey, look, these are the plays, run them. Or, yeah, maybe you can, if it's a run, you can switch the way it's going. Instead of going to the right, you can send it to the left or something like that. But, we don't want you to check out of that play. Maybe. I don't know. I have no idea, but who knows? And it gets you worried that, like, if you can't read that needs to be a run, like Brian said, like, come on, like, what are we doing here? All
right, let's transition this into the game preview. How are we feeling? Let's start with that. How are we feeling about this game? Obviously, it's a massive matchup.
Really good.
It's the division's on the line. It's the winner of this game is going to win the division, unless the Bills collapse against some terrible teams. If you win this game, the Bills are not capable of winning the division.
It's hat and t-shirt game.
It's not.
It's not because
the Dolphins
still
exist.
Stupid Dolphins.
But
That's
you
right.
can eliminate, which for all intents and purposes, you win this game, you win the division, even if you have to wait a week or wait for Dolphins to lose.
The Dolphins need to have the Patriots lose, and then the Bills lose at some point again.
If the Patriots win this game, the Bills cannot win the division.
That's correct.
If the Patriots win this game,
if the Patriots
Dolphins would
win,
need the Patriots to lose out and
right.
have the Dolphins win out, and they would get the tiebreaker because they would have swept the season series. And they both have 10 wins or 11 wins. Excuse me.
The ultimate Brian Flores.
10, you're right. 10-7. 10-7.
Yeah.
Just ultimate Brian Flores revenge game.
Which is never going to happen because they play New Orleans and then Tennessee.
Yeah, they're losing this week and they're losing next week.
And they play someone else. Like
the Patriots playing the Jaguars next week. It's
for
all intents and purposes, you win the division.
Yeah, it's New Orleans, and they might be New Orleans, but Tennessee, they're not going to be Tennessee.
Sorry, all intents and purposes, you win this game, you win the division.
Correct.
So the Bills beat Carolina 31-14 last week. Matt Rule that's an off-season conversation in some show that we do. But what the hell is going on with Matt Rule? Again, they're eliminated from division contention with a loss. If the Bills win, though, they control their destiny.
Cam's starting this week, but Sam Darnold's going to play a role.
Yep.
Don't worry about that guy. Sam Darnold.
PJ Walker still exists too.
What are we doing, dude?
But the Bills, if they lose, they cannot win the division. Again, you don't clinch.
Correct.
They cannot win the division though if they lose.
Right.
Because they win out, you lose out, you get the tiebreaker over them.
Right.
If it's a 3-way tie, you still get the tiebreaker over them.
Yep.
That is another thing to note, by the way. If the Patriots were to lose out and the Dolphins were to win out, the Bills also can't win out because you win a 3-way tie. You just don't win a 2-way tie with the Dolphins because NFL tiebreakers make no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
What was the 3-way? What's a 3-way tie? Common opponent?
I forget what it goes to, but I was playing with it earlier. And if it's 3-way tie at 10-7, you win the division.
Interesting.
Maybe
it goes to conference record.
Yeah,
I don't know. Either way.
Anyway, but they win. They control their destiny because now they have the tiebreaker over you because you now have 2 division losses. They will, assuming they win out, finish
2 layups. They got 2 layups to finish.
They have the Jets and
Falcons
to finish the season, or Falcons and then Jets. So assuming they win out, which is probably needed to win the division anyway for them, they would have the tiebreaker over you, even though you have the same record.
Right.
So we talked about it, Brian. Is there anything to carry over from the last matchup for you? For me, there's one.
No.
You know what the one is.
I throw it all in the garbage. I mean, no, you can't. What's the one thing that you bring back?
They dominated the trenches. I don't care that the numbers are going to be different. They dominated.
They didn't dominate the trenches.
They did.
They ran the football fine. They lost yardage on like 20% of their runs. Yes, it's going to happen when there's a stacked box because you're literally telling them, yes. That's not domination. There was no domination that took place there.
They dominated both sides of the ball.
I mean, it's patently just false. It's propaganda.
Listen, if the Bills didn't struggle so much and could have put together some sort of offensive game plan before the Patriots got the ball back at the end of the game, they had negative 10 yards in the fourth quarter total. They finished with negative 18 because of the kneel downs. But they had negative 10 yards in the fourth quarter. Imagine if somehow the Bills had put together a drive, won the game, right? Took the lead, were up 17-14, and the Patriots got the ball back, and they're like, oh, hey, by the way, the Patriots have, and then couldn't score, and they were like, the Patriots had negative 10 yards in the fourth quarter and lost. Then it would be a collapse, and everyone would be looking at Belichick saying, what the hell are you doing? It's like
one catch. One catch and it's over.
Yep.
That's what you invite when you play that way. It's not some genius level.
It was cool to see. It was cool to see.
It was fun. It was cool. It was.
I don't believe
fun.
Brian has told me multiple times he thought it was fun. I don't believe he thought it was fun. I had fun.
Ryan, that's his.
I don't believe Brian.
Like Ryan's biggest take is like line in the sand is you don't believe I had fun. I had a little bit of fun. I had fun. I promise.
There you go.
But it's not fun punting. It's not fun running on 3rd and 14. That's not
sidetrack us real quick because I saw a tweet this week about how someone was like, if you've been wondering why the quality of football has been going down as the season's gone on, look at the rush rate over expected, or the pass rate over expected, and it's just gone down. That's more fun to me. Like I'm not going to sit here. It's inarguable. Running the ball is less efficient. Running the ball in terms of like a spreadsheet way to look at the game is a less efficient, less effective way to try to win the game. Is more fun. I love running the ball.
And especially
it's
this
so
Patriots
much more fun.
running game. This Patriots running game is
beautiful,
creative. It can be the most dominant running game in totality in the league, and that's what's so fun about them.
I love the Colts. I love the Titans. Anyone that's trying to build the boat out of running the football right now with a big just freak athlete at running back.
Boys, yes,
all about it. All about it. It is.
There you go, Jim. Vikings v Bears. There we go.
Exactly.
That's fun.
That was Matt Berry's tweet on Monday. Was you watch this now, or you're complaining now, but in 3 months you're gonna be sitting on the couch begging for something like this. It's like you need to go life, my man. Come on.
I mean, he's not wrong.
But see,
he's
my
wrong for
problem
me.
is
I do not need that Bears Vikings game or that Raiders Browns game.
To be honest with you, I didn't watch them. So
exactly.
I love watching successful running football, but watching somewhat successful or mediocre running football, like we saw against Buffalo in the last game, that's not fun. It was running it on 3rd and 18 is not
Pat,
fun.
did you just hear him say that last game wasn't fun? I think we just dropped him.
I mean, listen, yeah, it's true.
I like watching good football and if they dominated that game, like truly dominated that game, and like put up like 3 touchdowns, but with the same amount of running, and like just ran them over the entire game and like controlled everything. Yeah, it would have been like one of the coolest, most dominating like FUs to Buffalo ever. Like that would have been so awesome. I would have been like off my couch just buzzing, but they were this close to losing because they weren't very good.
No,
but I will say though, the fact that they were able to, and I know one of them was a long touchdown, but the fact that they were able to score 2 touchdowns, only running the ball against 10-person boxes, is pretty impressive. Like that alone is pretty. Like everyone in the world knows that you're running on it every single play, and it just doesn't matter. You pick up the yards anyways. And again, like, you stopped having a little bit of success with it in the fourth quarter because then the Bills just said, screw it, we're just blitzing everybody. Like, we don't even care. Everyone's going to blitz at the same time. Kind of like the Engage 8 in Madden, where you're just like, screw it, just send the house every single play. You know what I mean?
All Engage 8.
So, and that's what they did, right? And it worked in the fourth quarter, and the Patriots weren't able to do anything about it. So we'll see. It's going to be perfect throwing weather this weekend. So you won't see that, but they will need to win the run game. We had Spence on our show last night from Buffalo Rumblings, and we had a little friendly wager.
I saw that.
Since I was the only one to pick the Patriots to win. So the winner gets to choose the loser's Twitter profile picture for the rest of the season. So rest of the regular season. So that should be interesting. We'll see how
you gotta do something with the red sleeves if you win that.
Someone tweeted out the picture of Scott Norwood after he missed the field goal. I just feel like that would be too mean. I don't know if I can do that. That's just
I mean, it's Christmas. Come on.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that would be like if he won and then he posted like the helmet catch or something like that.
Right.
I would just be like, you can't do that,
All right, let's talk some injuries real quick.
Why is Austin Eckler trending?
COVID
list.
Man, I am
Fantasy
having a rough
playoffs,
one.
folks.
Listen, tell you something. Fantasy, I made nine playoffs. 9. Lost 7 first-round matchups. One of them I lost by less than a point. One of them I lost. I had to get the top 10 in the Scott Fish Bowl. I had to get the top 10 in the conference. I finished 12th. After Jerry Jeudy got me 0 and Kyler Murray got me 4. I almost pulled it off, and I couldn't. I was so mad.
I have
only 11-2.
I have one. Brian's in it. One big like redraft league, and then I have a few dynasty teams. Redraft league should have been great. Was terrible this year. I am now currently fighting for
the best bad
week.
team of all time.
I finished the regular season 2nd in scoring, or maybe 3rd by like a point in scoring, and I am currently fighting in the 9th, 10th place game out of 10 teams. My dynasty league was the only one of my leagues that made the playoffs this year. I have a couple best balls, one lineup. The lineup one made the playoffs, and I scored like 60 points in it. I have Jamar Chase. So thanks for that, Jamar. Great one.
But that's the thing. All the guys that got us there, Najee Harris. I had Patterson on a billion rosters. I had Cordell Patterson on like all my rosters that made the playoffs. He had a terrible week. He had a touchdown call back because they said he wasn't in. I was like, just give him that stupid touchdown, you bastards.
I won in my big money league by 1 point because Rashad Penny came up short. I needed Rashawn Penny to have less than like 7.1 points, and he got like 5.5.
Nice.
Yeah.
And so I made it into this week, and now I'm going to get absolutely steamrolled this week without Austin Eckler.
Dark Blue Gold. This is year 5 of the league that Brian and I are in together, and this is the first year that I didn't make the playoffs.
Oh my God, it is.
Right? Yeah. Brian's 5 for 5 making the playoffs. We're the only 2 that have made it every year until
Look
I
at
didn't.
you.
Make it so Brian's hanging.
Brian, keeping it going.
We're probably gonna have a back-to-back champ this year who didn't make the playoffs ever until last year.
I had a rough go of it in our league this year too.
His team is like half as good as mine, and he was the 3 seed, and I was like the 7 seed.
Let me tell you something. My buddy, we do an auction draft. We do a redraft auction draft.
Yep.
My buddy drafted McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook. McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook, and he drafted like he had a top flight wide receiver as well. He had someone stupid, like I don't even remember who it was, and he finished like 9th.
Yeah.
It was like
I
walking
know,
out of there. I was
there's a
like,
guy
that
in
is
my-
outrageous.
There's a guy in my big money league, and it's a keeper league. And they're all going to be free agents next year because of how our keeper rules work. He had CMC and Derrick Henry and Michael Thomas the last couple of years, and so last year the Michael Thomas thing started.
Yeah,
And then this year, both of those guys go. He should win the league every year.
right.
We had
yeah.
a dynasty. I had a dynasty league that collapsed, so this was the first year without it. But up until this year, the guy I was in it for 3 years, and the same guy won all 3 years. He had Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, Tyreek.
I mean, that's just not
I
even.
forget who his
It's
other
like,
wide
that's the
receivers
crazy
were.
thing is it's like
Yeah,
almost not even fair. You know what I mean?
Exactly. He just set lineups. He didn't make trades. He just set lineups for 3 years. That's all you need to do. Okay, let's get into injuries.
All right.
Cats are definitely the more injured team. Nelson Aguilar didn't participate today with concussion. Ramondre Stevenson had an illness, so you hope that it's not too severe and he's back. It wasn't COVID. He didn't go on the COVID list.
Must have got to
as
be
of
the
now.
flu, right? With the flu going around, everybody's getting the flu.
Yep. It's supposed to be a bad flu this year, too. David Andrews, Christian Barmore, Juwan Bentley, Brandon Bolden, Nick Folk, Damian Harris, N'Keal Harry, Adrian Phillips, and Matt Slater were limited, and there were no full availability players for the Patriots. The Bills, Tywan Jones did not participate. Jerry Hughes, Micah Hyde, and Emmanuel Sanders were limited, and everyone else is there. Of course, the Patriots have the 4 players on the COVID list. Cole Beasley is on the COVID list for the Bills. Did I miss anyone else for the Bills? That was the only one I saw.
I don't think so.
Is
Sanders going to play? Do they think?
He's limited. I haven't seen any expectations, but
at this point, Gabe Davis has that job locked up. Like,
right?
Gabe Davis has been really good.
No, but Manny Sanders is another good player. So I just, if it's only Diggs and Gabe Davis, it makes it easier than having Gibbs. Diggs, Davis.
You don't have Beasley or Sanders. That's right. That gets big. You could survive not having one, not having both would be big. All right. Anything else? I mean, we're already going kind of long here. So is there anything else that we want to talk about on this game? Don't give me predictions. Obviously, we save those for the end. But we're for the most part throwing out game one of this matchup. I still think the offensive line and defensive line play is going to carry over. We haven't seen anything. We obviously didn't see anything in the passing game. Everyone's talked about it. So be curious to see how they choose to attack.
Bills can't run the ball. Bills can't run the ball. So I mean, if the Bills were smart, and who knows if they really are, but if the Bills were smart, they'd run Josh Allen all the time. They'd run Josh Allen 15 times a game because they have no running game, and that could be their running game.
I couldn't believe he didn't get at least a half a dozen.
He had
if he did, they probably win that game.
One or two against the Patriots. Yeah.
What are we looking at weather-wise here? Is it cleared up? It looks like it's clear.
40 degrees and partly.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. No, hold on. Time out. Sunday the 26th. Light freezing rain.
I must have changed from I looked yesterday.
Now we're talking here. Let's go, baby. 40 degrees for the high. Light freezing rain in the morning to start off your day. Then clearing in the afternoon. Yeah. We'll see.
70% chance of snow on Christmas Eve. How about that? Could be a little white Christmas.
We're not getting that here. And we just had freezing rain all day that made all the snow like slush. It looks disgusting now. So shout out to this game being on Sunday and not on Saturday. I forget which games got moved to Saturday this week, but that's just brutal.
I wouldn't be going. I can't go to a game on Christmas Day. That would have sucked.
Yeah, you're gonna be freezing your ass off in the stands, right, Pat?
Oh, I'm gonna love every second of it. This is my time of year, man.
Yeah, let's get it. All right.
So I'm I live in the only state that Buffalo, New England isn't on Sunday.
Oh God!
Because living in Ohio, you've got
because the AFC North just plays each other to finish the year,
and
don't
Pittsburgh.
they? Yeah.
All year. Just and like the TV map is just
that's
right.
It's Colts on Saturday again.
I mean, I'm devastated over here.
Brian,
that's
you
rough.
gotta come visit family out here for Christmas. What do you mean?
See.
Actually, I'm good. Here's the TV map for this week. Guess where Brian lives?
Oh my God!
Right there. Could be worse.
I mean, certainly could be.
Jacksonville, the Jets and Jags play this weekend.
Also, shout out this game not getting flexed because I got there's always nice.
425. 425 games are the best games, especially at the end of the year. It's already dark out. Feels like a night game, but it's not a night game. That's the best game, and you'll never convince me otherwise.
No, I'm with you. 4 o'clock's better. I meant not flexed into price.
No, I got you. Though. I agree.
Yeah, 4 o'clock would have been perfect.
By the way, Browns, Packers, and Colts, Cardinals on Christmas Day.
Colts Cardinals would be a good one. Have in the background.
Browns, Packers, not a bad game.
Basketball
Never
on
know.
one TV. Basketball on one TV. Colts Cardinals on the other. That's not bad.
Yep.
I saw that the Cardinals lead the league in fumbles,
Yeah, I
and
saw that today,
also
too.
lead the league in not losing fumbles.
Yeah, they have 32 fumbles, which is the most in the league, and they've only lost 3
32
or something like that.
And they've only lost
high
3.
20s, low 30s, and they've only lost 3. They have fumbled the most times
That's
and lost the least fumbles.
outrageous.
And they're going against the fumble creating its team.
Yep.
Like since the Peanut Tillman Bears.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
insane.
They're going to
all right.
fumble 12 times.
Final thoughts here. Again, save the predictions, but
Yep.
and
No, I think I'm good.
we'll see. It's a big game. I'm going to be sitting here all morning ready to puke, but it's a lot better than last year, right? So we'll take it. All right, let's get to second down then. I'm all over the place. I'm on vacation this week from work, and like it's immediately made time feel fake. So like I had to keep reminding myself the show was tonight. Keep remembering that it was even Wednesday period.
Could you tell me right off the bat, really quick, what date is today? What's today's date?
22nd.
I just instinctively looked at the
Nice job,
bottom right
Pat.
corner.
Nice job, Pat. It is the 22nd
It is
of,
the 22nd.
of December.
I write passes
year?
for my kids to go to the bathroom all day.
Mhm.
2021. How about this? You ready for this? Speaking of the year, on February 22nd of next year, it's a Tuesday, and it will be 2/2/2/2 on Tuesday. It'll be officially Tuesday.
Love that.
Like, come on, dude.
Pretty
That's
sick.
amazing.
That's a math teacher's dream too.
Oh, yeah.
Have fun on that day.
Not so much as pi in the year
Right.
2015 was amazing when it was 31415926553.
Mhm.
It was amazing.
Is it trivia time?
No, it is not. We got one segment to get to.
That's
One
right.
segment to get to on second down here.
That was dope.
So that explanation was just to explain why the show's disjointed today. Time is fake and it's throwing me off.
Our normally very jointed show.
Yeah, right.
That's how this. I started this whole thing off with the idea that it'd be a tight show. We'd have defined segments. It would be 10 minutes, 15 minutes trivia. Get out of here. And it's just evolved into like 2-hour shows where we just talk about nonsense. which
LOL.
was the most predictable thing of all time. All right, we're gonna do some AFC playoff contender power rankings. So I have this split into 2 groups, which are division contenders and wild card contenders. Does not mean that a wild card contender is not better than a division contender. It just means that they aren't really contending for the division right now. So division contenders are anyone within 1 game of their division, except in the AFC North because they're all within 1 game. I just split them in half.
Got it.
So there's 7 division contenders, 6 wild card contenders. We're gonna
It's true.
appreciate that, Oliver. We're gonna rank the division ones and then the wild card ones, and then we're gonna kind of like merge them together.
All right.
Sound good?
Let's do it.
All right. So
Let's roll.
the division contenders are the Chiefs, the Patriots, the Titans, the Bengals, the Colts, the Bills, and the Ravens. So from that list, I want you guys to think about it for a minute and then give me who your top choice, your number 1 from that list would be.
I don't have to think about it. It's the Chiefs.
Chiefs?
That's the Chiefs.
We all good with
Not,
that?
Chiefs.
not even close.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So we are going to have a
From
running
AFC,
tally.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. It's just AFC.
Chiefs.
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Chiefs are the number 1 power ranked team in the AFC
sure.
right now. I think that's no question. It'll be a minor upset if they're not the Super Bowl team. A moderate upset if they're not the Super Bowl team, in my opinion.
It's funny because a month ago, it's they're down. Everyone.
They started out 3 and
I was
4.
gonna say, Brian, don't be humble. You never jump track. We talked about it like a month and a half ago in our group chat, our fantasy league.
Oh, yeah.
Aforementioned fantasy league group chat. Everyone was half jokingly, but ready to ring the Chiefs up. And we said
The
they're still
lull.
gonna
It's the lull. Every
Yeah.
team hits a lull. The Patriots always traditionally would get it in the beginning of the year, and then they were just gangbusters the
However-
rest of the year.
However, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, probably not playing this week.
Man,
The Steelers continue to win games that they have no business winning. They have, similar to that Cardinals absurd stat, the Steelers have the fourth least amount of time on offense while holding a lead in the league. The Jaguars, the Jets, and the Lions are the only teams in the league
So
that have had the
ridiculous.
ball on offense with a lead for less time this season than the Steelers, and the Steelers are like what 7-7-1, 8-6 8-7.
The Steelers are like my fantasy team in our
7-6-1.
7-6-1, whatever that math is. It just I'm sorry, if they can win that game, one seed's right back in play. They win that game. I mean, they beat the Titans for you this past week. They win this game, you beat the Bills, you're the 1 seed again. Let's get it.
That'd be crazy.
All right, so the Chiefs are clear number 1.
Yep.
So I'm going to pull them off of my notes here so I don't actually keep reading them. And now we've got the Patriots, the Titans, the Bengals, the Colts, the Bills, and the Ravens.
So
this is for the number 2 seed?
Mm-hmm.
Just power rankings.
Just second overall.
Right.
So I would say this is with a caveat that everyone comes back healthy and back to their full potential. I lean Tennessee.
So like Derrick Henry is going to be ready for the playoffs.
Derrick Henry, AJ Brown,
happening for sure.
They say he could come back before the playoffs.
I heard the initial report was that they hope to have him back sometime in the playoffs. I've seen one update since then that was he was on track to be ready for the playoffs. I haven't seen any. That was like weeks ago. I haven't seen anything.
I saw something like 2 weeks ago that said he could be ready. He will be almost certainly will be ready for the playoffs and might come back before the playoffs is what I read. Now, again, who knows if that's true or not? But AJ Brown's come back this week. Julio supposedly is out but Julio, I mean,
I will come out and say it right now. I am not a believer in the Tennessee Titans.
I don't think I am either.
I haven't been
I love them.
Been a believer in them all year, even with Derrick Henry. I know they were a road grader with Derrick Henry and AJ Brown. I know
AJ Brown's my favorite player in football.
Yes. I don't trust their lines on either side.
Right.
In a season where everyone in the AFC is fake in all units except for like Chiefs offense and Patriots defense, the Titans defense is extra fake.
Well, but this is the thing, right? And you're not wrong. None of you guys aren't wrong about this, but like AJ Brown's been out for like months. Derrick Henry's been out for like months. Their defense, it feels like guys are hurt, guys are in and out. Julio Jones hasn't really played, and they still keep winning. And so, they're
9-5 now.
You're right, but so they've gone 2-2 in the last
really
4 games.
Super fake 9-5. It feels.
Yeah, maybe, but I just feel like Deontay Foreman is their number 1 running back, and he rushed like 150 yards. That's what I'm saying.
Are right up there, like all the.
He got cut by the Texans. The Texans said no, you're not good enough, and they cut him. Like
I'm telling you, it's because that line they know how to run the football there.
Right.
Like they commit to it, and their offensive line is they're a great run blocking unit. And D'Onta Foreman's clearly showed he's got a little burst. I mean, they hit all the yards above expectation stats. It's like Foreman and Henry are like stacked on top of each other on all the charts because their running game is their running game. All
right, so tell us who's second here because my wife's gonna murder me if I'm on until like 9 o'clock.
So I'm on the fence here. I still haven't decided who I'm picking in this game. Patriots Bills. I think the winner of that game would be my second pick.
Yeah, and so I'm going to say the Patriots. I know it's like homerish. I'm going to say the Patriots. I think the Patriots have the best defense in the league. They have the pedigree. They have the veteran guys that know how to bring it home. It's just going to be a matter of can they get a game script that favors them.
All right, Brian. Now, are you going to vote? So Pat would then obviously vote Tennessee third, and you voting them second.
I would second that if he wants to put Tennessee Patriots second. That's fine.
Brian, are you voting? I would put Buffalo ahead of Tennessee. Still, would you go Buffalo or Tennessee? Your vote will determine who's third here.
Neither.
I was going to say Indy probably would be.
I like Indy, man. I really like Indy. I think there's something going on there. There's something going on there. It's weird. It's weird stuff going on, but I think something could happen. And then I've got Buffalo, then Tennessee.
Okay, so we are in a deadlock for 3 here. I would vote Buffalo. Pat would
Studio
vote Tennessee.
Gym's on me.
All right. I will back Brian and go.
Go back Brian. All right.
Yep.
And then you would go Buffalo and then Tennessee. Brian, you said after Indy.
Sure.
All right. I would put Buffalo.
I'm sorry. I went Buffalo then Tennessee.
Yep.
Which is what I said. Thanks. All right, so Buffalo.
Wait, hold on. Buffalo, then Tennessee.
Okay, and then we've got the Ravens and the Bengals left. Bengals, right? Just given
no.
what the Ravens are down to.
No.
What the Ravens are down to.
No.
Knowing
the
Lamar
Bengals suck. SUCK suck. Give me the Ravens.
The Ravens are
The
playing practice
Bengals-
squatters for the rest of the year.
Bengals out of here.
The Bengals
Get
suck.
them out of here.
They suck.
Who
They
dey?
suck, but
They suck. I know. Listen, it's possible that the Ravens don't even make the playoffs with the people that they have to play, but the Bengals are terrible. They are the Bengals. They will get into a playoff game and lose 96 to nothing.
The Chargers are great.
We're getting into wild card contenders right now.
Yeah.
They are not a division contender
get
because they are
Cincy out of here.
All right. So, wild card contenders. Chargers, Browns, Steelers, Dolphins, Broncos, Raiders. Chargers are the clear one, right?
Oh, yeah.
All of those
All
teams
right,
are
so-
really bad outside of the Chargers.
So, where are we putting the Chargers in this list? Do they go at the bottom? How far up this list?
I would say probably ahead of Baltimore. In between Tennessee and Baltimore is where I would put them, personally, because I still don't trust that.
I mean, Baltimore shouldn't be, but like they have to be.
They have
They're so hurt. They're so.
if they were healthy, they'd be probably second on my list. They are just simply not healthy. They shouldn't make the playoffs. It'll be a shame if they make the playoffs because then the Lamar narrative will start when they have literally.
Well, but Lamar will be fine by the playoffs. They
no,
just
I'm
won't.
not. Yeah, but they will get steamrolled, and then it'll be Lamar still can't win playoff games.
Right.
Okay, so Chargers 1. All right, Browns, Steelers, Dolphins, Broncos, Raiders. Who are we taking from there?
Oh,
I
God.
assume all of these teams are going behind everyone we currently have.
Browns, Steelers, Broncos. I guess the Browns. I guess. I mean, all those other teams
Those
suck.
teams, get all those teams out of here.
They all
Invent a
stink.
new team, put a new team in the spot. Have a, you know what? You don't deserve the spot. The Steelers are the fakest team on the board.
All right, we
I'd
can
say-
call it
I'd
there
say
if you
put
want.
the
If you want to say
Broncos-
all these teams are fake, and
Put the Broncos at the
have-
bottom.
we have one,
Whatever you
two,
do,
four- we
put the
have
Broncos last because they
we
suck.
have 8 teams, so we can call them all out, and we can just call our shot and
That's
say
it.
it's
None of
it's
those
7 these
none of
8
those other
teams.
teams are going to
You
make the playoffs.
probably have to put the Steelers up. I mean, they're playing in a tough. They're playing in a tough division. Like they are winning games.
I'm the anti-Pat right now. I guess I would go Broncos,
Ugh.
Browns, Steelers, Dolphins,
No,
Raiders.
what?
probably.
No,
The Raiders stink. The Raiders are last, no question.
the Raiders are terrible. But you're right. But like
Broncos
the Broncos,
got housed. But the Broncos
are
got
so
housed in
bad.
Cleveland by the Case Keenum Browns.
Mhm.
I mean, they're so bad. The
Well, all
Broncos are
these teams
so
stink.
bad.
All these teams stink. So I'm good. We can call it there. We can say it's 7 of these 8 teams. These are 7 of your 8 playoff. Or
And Oliver's so right. If we have to watch Big Ben or Teddy in the playoffs, like that's
I'm
awful.
with you.
That's
the
awful.
AFC is
It's like
disgusting.
that Derek Carr, Tyler Yates game.
terrible season to be showcasing an extended playoffs.
Yeah,
Or doesn't Connor Cook have a playoff start?
sure
I think
does.
Connor Cook started that game.
I think you might be right.
Sure does. All right.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what though. This is one of those weird seasons where like someone gets into the 7 seed and then upsets someone stupid because you're like, what the hell is? You know what I mean?
Because the number 1 seed
Right.
gets COVID.
Right, or something stupid like that. You know what I mean?
This year is ridiculous. Okay. That's it then. These are your 8 playoff contenders, folks. Which means it's trivia time. It is
go,
trivia
baby.
time.
Oh, we're not doing
Yeah.
NFC, just AFC.
No, just
TJ
AFC.
Yates,
All right.
yes, Matt.
Yes.
Tyler, TJ, you're gonna hold me. You're gonna hold
We
me to
are just to set the scene. It is the playoffs. Whoever loses this match will not be on 3 and out again this year. They'll be done until next year. Keegan's here ready to play. The winner of this matchup will be back week 18 in the finals. Loser of this matchup is done for the 3 and out season. Pat is your 2 seed. Brian is your 3 seed. Pat,
Now,
as
I'm going to tell you.
team,
I'm going to tell you. I'm not trying to lose, but I will tell you, my wife won't be upset if I lose.
You'll get a little more time. Here. All right, Pat.
I'm
As
going
we home-
second. I'm going
As the
second.
home seed, you want to go second? You're going to defer. All right. So, same rules as always. No special rules. We might do something a little special for the finals. I haven't decided.
Oh,
6 rounds. 1 question per person per round. You get it right, you get a point. You get it wrong, your opponent can steal. They get a point if they get it right. Whoever's the
Yeah,
most points after 6 rounds wins. And if it's a tie, we have an overtime question. We had 2 ties in the regular season, back-to-back weeks.
I'm gonna switch to the private chat. I always forget to switch to the
Yep.
private chat
Get
until it's
over to the
like
private chat.
until you're like
Brian, as
asking the
well.
first question. And I'm like, oh no.
All right, here we go. Buffalo versus New England is the first question.
Top
Brian,
category.
for you, I'm not gonna lie, it was tough to write these ones, especially after already having it. I found the second division matchups have been painful. The Jets one was hard. This one was hard. I'm gonna assume the Miami one was hard because I already blew the good questions.
Right.
All right, Brian. Since the merger, Andre Reed and Eric Moulds are the top two Bills in receiving yards versus the Patriots. Which wide receiver who played 6 seasons with the Bills from 1999 to 2007 is third?
Peerless Price.
Oh, that was gonna be my guess.
Final answer.
Final answer.
That is an excellent poll. And
Oh,
it has been
you
painful.
bastard.
All right, it has been
That was gonna be
painful
my
for me
guess.
to sit on this all week. I've been telling it to people who are not affiliated with the show. I wanted to tweet it out. Peerless Price, all-time name.
From
That is an
Tennessee.
incredible name.
Yeah, and really, really
Incredible.
tough. Like
Peerless, top 5 first name of all time. You
my
think the
dad
Price
lives in
at the end of it?
Knoxville. You still see Price guys walking around with customized Price.
He was a
was-
monster.
He
bro.
was
Top.
college. Peerless Price was before my time, but he was with Manning, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Peerless Price, absolutely incredible.
Larry Izzo, final answer.
All right, 1-0. 1-0, Brian.
Imagine if the answer was Larry Izzo. Imagine if the answer is Larry Izzo, and then I changed my answer, and it turns out it was Larry Izzo.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's not Larry Izzo because the question's gonna rule it out anyway. All right, Pat, to keep pace here. Brian off to the 1-0 start. It was a
Okay.
pretty quick answer too. He didn't really hesitate too much.
That was my
Since the
guess.
merger, Jim Kelly and Joe Ferguson. I never heard of him before this, by the way. Are the top two Bills in passing yards versus the Patriots? Which Bills quarterback? I realize I wrote this. Which Bills quarterback who was the Bills quarterback for 4 years is third?
Just trying to think of what year Romo took over. No, because Romo was already there in 07, so it couldn't have been. Maybe. I'm gonna go Drew Bledsoe. Final answer.
That is incorrect. Brian, sweep the category. 10 seconds. The answer in 3, 2, 1.
Doug Flutie. Final answer.
That is incorrect. It is Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Of
Ryan
course it's
Fitzpatrick.
Ryan. It's the answer is always Ryan.
Always Ryan Fitzpatrick. I was nervous. that this was
Hey,
going to be like.
Did you guys know he went to Harvard?
Disproportionately, yeah. Thank you for letting me
I don't
know.
know if you guys ever heard that.
I was worried that one was going to be disproportionately easier because the answer is always Ryan Fitzpatrick, like you're saying. But glad
You
you
forgot
didn't
that you have a couple of olds on the staff here.
Hmm.
I just
Yeah, they had
figured
too many options
Bledsoe.
for you.
Did Bledsoe only play 3 years?
Bledsoe played 3 years. Yeah, so
That's
there was
why.
like 4. It was Fitzpatrick, Josh Allen's in his 4th season.
I couldn't remember
Bledsoe played
when.
3.
I couldn't remember when Bledsoe left because I knew that he got overtaken by Romo, and Romo was the starter in 07. But I was like, oh, maybe he was there like 03, 04.
Yeah,
05.
I mean, you went through the process I
Yeah.
wanted you to go through. It was like
Yeah.
Bledsoe, Fitzpatrick, Josh Allen, like
Right.
JP Lostman and
Trent Edwards.
Trent Edwards had like 3 seasons or 4 seasons each.
Yeah.
So those were the names I wanted you to go through. So right process at least. All right, round 2 is movies based on cast. So I'm gonna give you 3 names, and you're gonna tell me what movie they were all in.
Well
Oh,
then,
no. Okay.
I will give you a hint leading.
you missed
into
the
it.
eye. You missed the eye on the banner.
I sure did. Thank you. And this was a copy paste from my document, which means I missed it there too. So here's the hint: the theme of these two are movies that Ryan thinks absolutely rule. Okay,
Okay.
Brian.
Wait, so what's gonna happen here? You're gonna give me names of movies.
You're giving good movies that Brian likes. What if I don't like these movies?
That Ryan thinks rules.
Oh,
Ryan thinks
Ryan.
rules.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, I'll read you the question, Brian. If you're still confused, we'll pause and explain. I think it'll be
Okay.
straightforward here. All right. Name this movie based on the following cast members: Kate Hudson, Frances McDormand, and Anna Paquin. 30 seconds.
What the?
3 billboards outside of Ebbing, Missouri.
Final answer
Final answer.
is incorrect. Pat, 10 seconds for the steal.
I don't know if Frances McDormand was in it, and I don't even know if Anna Paquin was in it. No, I don't even think Kate Hudson was in it. That's not right.
I need the answer.
Then that cannot be the right
I
answer.
need the
no.
answer.
I have no
No
idea.
answer. All right.
No clue. Not
Keegan.
one idea.
Keegan. Shout out Keegan. He's almost famous, folks. Almost famous.
Oh, that's right. Damn.
Absolutely.
Anna Paquin was in Almost Famous. I literally almost said Almost Famous because it's just Kate Hudson. And
I mean, that was supposed to be the
Idiot.
clue. Worst case scenario, you just go Kate Hudson's like one massive performance, great
What a
performance.
dummy.
Who is Anna
and
Paquin?
she was Palexia, Penny Lane's friend. At the first party that they go to when
Anna Paquin plays Jubilee in X-Men, the old X-Men.
Is she the sister
when
from
they're
Weeds?
She plays Jubilee in the old X-Men.
She was she's in Vampire Diaries
That
too.
helps you.
But in Almost Famous, when they're at the party, that first party, and then Penny Lane leaves with the rock star and all that, she's the one that's like telling him like, "Oh yeah, you were excused to come here and see him." Okay, still 1-0. Pat, you can tie the game up.
Was Frances McDormand his mom?
Yeah,
the mom.
Actually, we're gonna sidetrack this even more. If I switched Anna Paquin with Zooey Deschanel, would you have gotten it?
No.
I might have gotten that.
You might have got because she was his sister. And I thought it might be a little too easy.
I've seen Almost Famous once, probably 15 years ago. No, 17 years ago.
I watched it like maybe 6 months ago.
I'll probably be watching it in the next day or two. That was one of the things I wanted to do when I was on vacation here is watch Almost Famous again. All right, Pat, to tie the game up. Name this movie based on the following cast members: Russell Crowe, Ryan Gosling, and Keith David.
I'm gonna go with. I don't know if Keith David's in it, but I'm gonna go with the good guys.
Final answer?
Yes.
That is incorrect. Brian, for the steal. 10 seconds.
La La Land.
Final answer?
Final answer.
That's incorrect. Pat, my heart breaks for you. It's The Nice Guys.
Are you shitting me?
It's The Nice Guys.
Nice Guys. God damn it.
Never heard of that movie in my life.
Oh, go watch it. Find it. Watch it.
Movie.
It rules. It's one of the most underrated movies of the past
Shit.
decade. It rules.
I knew the movie. I've seen it a few times.
I mean, it was The Good Guy. I clearly that you knew it.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's one of my favorite movies. Those are two of my favorite movies. Ryan Gosling's probably my favorite actor. Keegan, thank you in the chat. JC Jackson, Matt Judon, Matt Slater, past Pro Bowlers. Anyone who hasn't seen either of those movies, go check them out. Almost Famous is an older one.
No
Nice Guys
lineman?
was like 2016.
Damn.
No lineman.
Not even Nick
What a
Folk, which is a
travesty,
joke.
man. That's
Yep.
gross.
Yep. All right. Round 3. A little bit of a barn burner so far. Only one correct answer out of 4. Category is going to be the Bills. Brian to take a 2-0 lead. From 2001 to 2006, this Bills cornerback had 23 interceptions and made 1 Pro Bowl before going to San Francisco and then Cincinnati. Name that player.
Had 23 interceptions and made 1 Pro Bowl. Nate Clement.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Say the name again.
Nate Clements
Okay, I'll give it to you.
with an S.
Nate Clements, yeah.
I was gonna say, and put the S.
Let's go, baby. Yes.
I was on the fence there. Thank you for clarifying. 2-0.
Nathaniel Clement.
We're gonna establish this moving forward. Chat. We're not gonna hold this up. If he had doubled down or he had said Clement and not Clement, do I give it to him or do I say no?
You tossed my ass out of the
We're
club.
gonna move on. But
No,
just let me
you'd
know in the
say
chat.
no. If you didn't
Alright.
give it to me, saying the good guys, you'd give it to. You'd
Well, I
say
mean,
no.
good and nice are completely different.
Okay.
All right. Pat, keep pace. This is a big one. Keep pace. From 2009 to 2013, this Bills safety, excuse me, had 22 interceptions and made 3 Pro Bowls before going to New Orleans and then Carolina. Name that player.
I'm so terrible with this type of crap.
10 seconds.
I can picture the guy in my head, but I can't come up with
An
it.
answer in
I don't know.
3.
Nope.
2,
Nope.
no guess?
Nope,
All right.
nope, nothing.
Brian, 10 seconds for the steal.
That's got to be Jarius Bird. Final answer.
Final answer. It's Jarris Bird. That is massive. Brian comes into
Let's
the
go,
second
baby.
half of the game.
He got paid, too.
3-0. He did. That was one of the
Give
first
him money.
contracts I remember, like being old enough to be like, that's an absurd amount of money. By the way, the chat is split 2-2 on whether I should have given you that to you or not. So that's fun.
I wouldn't have given it to me.
Okay, that'll be the moving forward rules. Didn't end up mattering here anyway because you clarified. But all right, Pat's wife in the next room over punching the air. All right, round 4 NFL draft. We do have a potential clinching scenario here, Brian. If you sweep this category, you win and you move on to the finals.
Notoriously safe leads of mine.
This is exactly what happens to Brian, or this is the opposite of what happens to you. You normally have a to come back from behind.
No, I had waves. Remember?
Yeah,
I've had a couple of waves.
All right, fill in the blank of the 2014 NFL Draft's top 5: Texans, Jadeveon Clowney; Rams, Greg Robinson; Jaguars, Blake Bortles; Bills, blank; Raiders, Khalil Mack.
Sammy Watkins.
Final answer.
Final answer.
You got a 4-0 lead, Brian.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
This is oh shoot, I just deleted the thing. All right, it's a 4-0 lead. Everyone remember that. Oh, that's fun that they don't ask you to confirm that you're deleting stuff. All right, category's gone. It is a 4-0 lead. Pat, you need this one. You need this one. You get this wrong and Brian gets it, he wins. You get it wrong, he doesn't get it. The best you can do is force overtime.
Okay.
Fill in the blank of the 2015 NFL Draft's top 5: Buccaneers, Jameis Winston; Titans, Marcus Mariota; Jaguars, Dante Fowler; Raiders, blank; Washington Football Team, Brandon Sheriff. The bots have infiltrated our stream, by the way.
Oh, are we getting hacked?
Yeah.
Someone shitty, I'm sure.
Well, yeah.
10 seconds.
Yeah,
I need an answer.
no. Fuck it. Nope.
It's tough. This is tough.
I'm good.
Brian,
I'm all
secure
set.
your spot in the finals. 10 seconds.
Amari Cooper, final answer. Let's
Brian,
go,
you're going
baby.
to the finals.
Let's
You're going to
go,
the finals. As a tough performance from Pat here. We'll finish these out quickly. We got the Patriots in round 5. Carl Davis currently wears number 98. Who was the last player to wear 98 for the Patriots to appear in more than one game, Brian?
Oh, that's a great question. Did Trey wear 98?
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's my final answer.
Give me the last name.
Flowers.
It's
Trey
Trey Flowers.
Trey Clement.
Trey Clement, yeah. It's Trey Flower.
Oh, man.
All right, Pat. 6-0. Kyle Duggar currently wears number 23. Who was the last player to wear 23 for the Patriots that appeared in the game? Yep. That is Patrick Chung. Pat is on the board as we go into the last round. Pat, I am bummed for you because I wrote this for the last one.
Sorry.
Thinking, this might be a fun one if Pat's in position to win on his favorite category, is sports math. To finish this out here.
I'm so bad at sports math.
Well, luckily for you, it does not matter. Although if you sweep the category, you set a record. Same situation you were in last week. Kendrick Bourne jersey number plus Patriots regular season 2016 win total plus Devin McCourty career sacks. Give you like 10 seconds. Stop the run in the timer. All right. I gave you like 20 seconds there. Pat.
You want to give a guess, Brian?
Oh, is it me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was on Pat. That's my bad. 100. I was thinking like, it's got to be like 100. Oh my God, it's 100.
It's 100.
You get three career sacks?
Brian, he has 2 career sacks. So what'd you get wrong?
Oh, okay. So I had the number. I had the win total wrong.
Yeah. Kendrick Bourne, obviously 84. Patriots had 14 wins, and DMAC had 2 career sacks.
Oh, man, can we keep going? Can I get Keegan right now?
Brian's tied the single game record for points in back-to-back weeks here, folks. Pat, Jacoby Myers jersey number plus Patriots regular season 2014 loss total plus Dante Hightower career Pro Bowls? I just realized that I wrote that last question wrong, so good thing it doesn't matter.
23?
Final answer?
Sure.
That is incorrect. Brian?
$20.
Final answer?
Final answer.
That's incorrect. No record for you is 22. That was supposed to say Devin McCourty career Pro Bowls, not sacks. I had updated the question and apparently didn't update for him.
Still got it right.
You got it right.
Perseverance.
Yep. So luckily, this was not in a close game situation. Sloppy performance from me writing these questions this week. However, Brian, you are moving on to the finals. 7-1 final score. Pat, how are we feeling? How are we feeling?
He's perplexed.
He's already.
I honestly don't give a shit, to be honest with you. I'm all set.
Pat has moved on into winter vacation mode.
Pat is devastated. I am on cloud 9. I'm also hungry.
Hungry?
I am hungry. You know what I'm hungry for? A championship. That's what I'm hungry for. Keegan.
Brian, you and Keegan matched up twice in the finals, and you did not come away with a win.
Hey,
first time?
Regular season, sure.
Beating teams 3 times in a year is hard.
Preseason, yeah, that's right. And I'm officially the team you don't want to face in the playoffs. Yeah. Officially.
Inarguably.
So, Brian, that's right.
That is true. Spag still has to face off with Keegan. That is true. All right, we will. We will. Poor Spags. We will.
Let's go,
be back. We will be back next week. I will still be on vacation when this show airs next week, so be prepared for a little bit of all over the place again. But we'll be back. Let's get out of here. 3rd down. We're gonna punt, just like Bill Belichick. What is your final score prediction for the game on Sunday, Brian?
29-26 Patriots.
Interesting score. Okay, Pat.
Every week it is.
22-17 Patriots.
All right, I'm gonna go classic score, 24-21 Patriots. Nick Folk game-winning field goal in the late 4th quarter. That'll do it for us. Brian, you will be back in 2 weeks. We will be back next week with Keegan versus Spags, the 1 versus 4 seed matchup in the other semifinal. Tune in. It should be Wednesday at 7, but we'll see how the scheduling works out. So keep an eye out for any scheduling changes. And we will get out of here. Have a good night, you guys.